Chef. Yes, sir. And we back. We on. This is Shields Ministry. And we back to you. I know we've been gone for a while, vacation, there was some more stuff going on. But we back with you and to you with another good one, right? So look, the topic and subject today is dating after 40, right? Dating after you 40. And so what we're gonna do is we have a special guest that's gonna come on a little later. Lim couldn't be with us today. You know, he had some prior engagements he had to do. So, but we gonna spin the boat on this. So we looking forward to shaking this up. We got a lot of feedback and calls about this subject in particular, and we're gonna make this thing work, right? So, Rome, won't you? Do you want to go ahead and kick us off with some of the stats or some of the questions you asked? First of all, what I want you to do is give me a question from one of the young ladies, and then me and Bishop will go back and forth to try to answer them, and then we'll do it like that, and then we'll see some of the ladies' responses.
First of all, can y'all hear me? Because I can't see myself.
Yes, we can hear you and we can see you, brother.
Okay, long as y'all can see me. Well, I guess the first and foremost thing is a lot of the women have something in common today that's over 40 and single. They're telling me that the biggest thing. What's that feedback? They're telling me the biggest thing that they're running into is that they're not on social media and men don't approach them today. So they're like, hey, how are we going to meet the men if we're not on social media and they're not approaching them? That's the first question.
So, you know what? It's so funny. I just got back from New York, right? Just went to New York. I had a chance to go to Georgia, etc. I spoke to one of my homegirls, right? And this was the same conversation we had. She was like, you know what? The first half of my career in my early 20s, I was really, really dedicated to my career. You know, she's in marketing. She has a really, really good job. She's really, really good at sports marketing, in fact. And she's attractive. She's very intelligent, etc. So she said, now during this later end of my career, and she just probably touching 40. Let's just call her 39 to 41. Right. So she was like on this later half, like I think it would be really good to have a companion. I don't have any kids. Like now I should focus on this. But I was asking, I was like, well, do you consider yourself approachable? Like if I was at the gas station and I was single and you were there too, are you approachable? Can I come up to you and say, hey, do you mind if I pump your gas? Or do you got the mean mug on? Leave me alone. I'm from New York. I got somewhere to go. You bothering me. You know, do you give that type of look off too? You know, because she was telling me how she isn't on social media. And so that's not she don't like to brag. Like we from the old school. So no matter what she done been numerous of places, Super Bowl, the Final Four, all of these big events, and she don't post none of that because at the end of the day, that's not who she is, what she do. But what would be our advice, or Bishop? What to see? Now I got my boy, young Bishop, on the line too. So now y'all get a chance to see this too before our guests come on, right? So I'm gonna butter y'all up with some soft conversations about dating over 40 from our opinion, right? Our perspective. And then hopefully we can do a part two later on with a female, right? But right now, this is going to be a male's perspective because we ain't had no females that want to jump on this week, right? So, and I'm telling y'all right now, if y'all want to jump on, please hit me in the DMs, inboxes. We'll actually give you the link. Make sure that you're on and you can have or you can contribute to this conversation. That's all it is. You're telling me you want the smoke, and I'm gonna give you the smoke. So at this time, Bishop always gonna give you one. So my thing is, what would you say to my homegirl Bishop that's between 39 and 41, attractive, in a major city? And the thing is, she was really just gun-ho focused on her career at the beginning, that she wasn't even, really studying a relationship. And then now she like, time is passing me by. Maybe, why am I enjoying all of these nice vacations, nice trips, things I do nice? It would be good to enjoy this with somebody else, And so what would you say, Bishop? We can't hear you, Bishop. We can't hear you. You might be on mute.
All right, now you can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is my topic right here. This is all I listen to and think about all day. Me being the only single man here on the panel, I guess I had to give you my perspective. I'm well over 40. I'll be 55 in September, and I've been divorced for what, 7 years now. But your friend's case, that's just a regular run of the mill case of women in their 40s. They pretty much have one or two scenarios, and that's one of the major ones that uh, they 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 give right now. Dating these days, uh, dating right these days are hard. When I got divorced, I thought I was going to get back out here. Before I got married, I never had any problem dating. I thought I was just going to get back out here and have no problem dating and do my thing. But then when I came out here, it just took me as a total shock because I was out. I was married for 17 years and actually together with my ex-wife for a total of 21 years. So I was 21 years out the game. So a lot has changed in 21 years. Not only am I gray, I have two sons in college. I'm in my 50s now. But even at any age now, the aspect of dating has changed. I talked to my 20-year-old sons, they're 20 and 21, about their dating and hear the stories that they have. And even at that age, I remember when I was 21, dating was, I thought it was hard then, but looking back, it was easy and great. I was like Jay-Z, 99. Uh, but now it's just at every age, whether you 20, 30, 40, 50, dating is just extremely hard.
So let's park there real quick. So when you said dating is really really hard, and obviously we coming from your personal experiences, right? And I said our as men, right? Because we were men on the panel that's speaking today. So tell me,
Mhm.
what does hard mean from a man perspective? Why is it hard for you to date nowadays in 2024?
Well, that's why I wanted the women on here because I didn't want to feel like make it seem like I'm beating up on the women or whatever like that. But
Hey, they gonna
I
have their time, Bishop. Like this the only time I'm looking.
oh no, I understand.
I'm letting you
I
off the
understand.
leash. That means you can say everything unfiltered, and ain't nobody
Right.
gonna get mad. Do your thing. Let them get mad. Go. Let them go argue with their mom. You know what I'm saying? Go
Right.
ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I I have to put the blame almost completely on women. I I know they out here gonna go crazy, but yeah, the women have changed. Men haven't changed. We are pretty much the same as we always been. We men are simple. If you haven't ever heard that term, that men are simple, it's very simple what we want, and those things haven't changed in 2024. The thing that has changed are women, what they want. Let's say they're unrealistic and delusional ones. It seems like everybody want a 666 man. And if you don't know what that is, it's the six figure income, 6 feet or greater, and 6 inches where it counts. I know everybody's been pretty much heard a woman say that's what she wants in general, and it seems like all these women are competing for the top 10 or 5% of men, and so the other 80 to 90% of men are out here just wondering what's going on because they're not getting dates, they're not getting sex, they're not getting much of anything except for bad attitude from most of the women. The guys who are in the top 10 and 5% are living it up because they get all the women. They just be able to go through the women, but that leads to problems on their end because it's like me. I'm 50. I've done well for myself, college educated, um, financially secure. Uh, I tell everybody I have all the sixes, but I'm two inches short from one of them, and I'll let you figure out which one that is.
Hey, Bishop, listen. What I'm saying, look, only thing, and ain't nothing wrong with your story and what you say, right? With your sixes, right? But
Go ahead.
let me switch gears. So you telling me, I'm just asking you. So you're telling me there's no situation where you feel like there's been a young lady that came that wasn't materialistic, that struck your interest, that she was very, because see, I got one of my homegirls, I think she just commented right now, and she's extremely intellectual. She's very, attractive. And at the end of the day, she has a lot of morals, values, and respect, right? And then so it's certain things she demands when it comes down to chivalry, things of that nature, right? And hopefully I'll have her on part 2 on another segment, right? But right now I'm asking you, have you ran into a woman in all of your dating years since you've been divorced that wasn't on that, what you were talking about, that in particular?
Well, I had a good woman. I was married for 17 years, but the problem is, it's this womanhood thing, and she felt susceptible to this womanhood thing where women are divorcing their men. They talk to their women and get totally bad advice from women, and then months later, if not weeks later, after they file for divorce, they think about what have I done and want to get back with the men. I've heard that story time and time again, because once your girlfriends, this womanhood, all the stories they told you don't come to fruition. Once you get this glorified divorce and you see things aren't greener on the other side, they come and say, look what I've done. So, yeah, there are a few women out here. I would say less than.
I'm trying to get you to take some type of ownership, right? Like, I'm just trying to get you to take some type. You said the majority of the blame is on the women. I'm trying to get you to take some type of ownership based on how you present yourself, what these women doing, and have you ran into anyone that was a little bit different that didn't want all the sixes?
Oh, I mean, I don't have problems finding women. I'm not part of the 80-90%. I mean, I'm not tooting the horn or anything, but I don't have any problems finding a woman. Like women say, if I want to get married tomorrow, I could get married tomorrow. I could finding women for me is not a issue. Is I don't want to be married because it's at my age and where I'm at today is just it's too dangerous for me to get married. As far as women divorcing at 80 or 90% of rate, I'm close to retirement. I have substantial financial interests that if I got married and somebody was to divorce me, I can't afford to go through that and not be able to retire. So, and pass my legacy. I got 2 sons now that I want to pass my legacy on to, so I wouldn't risk getting married for it. Now, when I do date, I tell people I want to I do want a life partner, so I do want something like marriage, but I don't want all the legal things. We can wear rings, we can have a ceremony, we can do everything except for sign that state marriage certificate, and we can live together and everything, but I don't want anything legal.
So what about the woman stability in that? Because most women want stability, security.
Mm-hmm.
They want to feel like they are going to be taken care of. Why am I sacrificing all of this for you and your 2
Right.
boys and all the stuff that I'm doing to give you comfort? And then you turn around and say, my boy's legacy and going on with yourself, whatever you, because now they didn't wasted their time and their year, especially if you dating some young tenders. Now, if you dating somebody your age, I get it, because they might want the same thing. But what about the women that really believe in commitment? They still believe in the laws of marriage, and they still believe in the principle of spirituality and what God may say about being married. What would you say about that? I hear you, but I'm just throwing it out there because I mean, this is what they're gonna say.
Well, I could go into spirituality, but I don't want to. I don't want to go there when they talk about spirituality and you have 2 and 3 kids out of wedlock, and and body counts up to over 100 and stuff like that. We ain't gonna get into spirituality and stuff like that. But I have I have thought about it. I I I, I refuse to get married again. I've already made that decision, but I do want a life partner, and I do have a contract for a life partner because I know, like you said, women want security. I understand what women want, the security and stuff like that. I will set up life insurance policies. Uh, Hopefully, if I found a life partner, she already have a house. But if she doesn't have a house, I would help her get a house. We would be living together in my house. It's paid for, so I guess I would be paying all the bills because I don't really have any bills except for utilities. So uh, the contract I have is you already have a house. You can rent that house out. Uh, uh, if your house isn't paid off, the rent will go towards your mortgage. So that will take whatever 10, 15, $2,000 off of your bills every month, if not more, because you don't have utilities too. So all that money that you're saving on a house living with me, let's say $3,000, that mortgage, utilities, and stuff like that, you can put that in your retirement fund and increase whatever you was already putting in your retirement fund and building that up. So not only will you be getting a paid off house, you'll be increasing your retirement fund. Uh, I would have a life insurance policy on me for you, uh, and I got other things in the mix. But pretty much anybody who would be a life partner with me will probably be better off than a lot of married women are with their husbands. So,
That sounds like an employee. Is it what it sounds like? But I get it.
well, marriage is a business arrangement. If you put it,
No,
that's
no, no.
why I don't want to sign. That's why I don't want to sign that state contract, because as soon as I sign that, me and her are business partners. So
She
marriage is a business if you want to break it down.
she said it sounds like you're looking for a roommate with extra benefits and deferred compensation.
That's what a marriage is.
No, okay, so I get it. I get it. So
I'm offering probably better benefits than most people getting in their marriage. So
um so I mean I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're
Mhm.
saying. I don't necessarily so look, what I'm saying is this is your state to claim. That sounds like a really, really good deal though for a young tender. Somebody that's young. No, for somebody that's young, that sounds like a really good deal. But like I told you before, this is my personal opinion. I think even
Mhm.
if you give that offer to a young tender, they gonna throw themselves at that offer. 5, 10 years later, it's gonna change because they gonna want something more than
Yeah.
your life partnership or what you're talking about. so
Mhm.
so I just think that that situation is gonna totally change. That's my personal opinion.
I'm just saying they can want more, but dating market is going to level itself out. That's why right now I would say the black marriage rate for black females is around 20, 23, 24%, and dropping. Only 1 out of 4 black women will get married, and I think that's going to probably drop. That's going to even drop worse. So I mean, she can take her chance on the open market. I don't have any problems. I'm gonna take my offer on the market too, and whoever wants to bite on it.
So do you think it's harder for men or women to date after 40 and why?
Well, it's harder. It's definitely harder for women. I mean, men's market value increases as they get older. I mean, when I was 20, I was broke, just out of college in debt. Now I'm debt free and have substantial net worth. Uh, so when women are in their 20s, they have their youth and beauty and child childbearing years, and when they get older, all of that kind of leaves. So uh, definitely, women have their advantage in their 20s. I was talking to my niece this weekend. Actually, she's 23 now, and I was asking her about her situation, telling her she needs to hurry up and get married now that she's young, because I was telling her I don't want her in a situation where she's in her 30s and 40s, uh, trying to get married, because it just gets harder the older you get.
I get it. I get. Well, so, what's your thoughts, Ron? Before we switch gear and bring on our guest, what you thinking?
Hey Bishop, I want you to touch on, since you're single right now, what advice do you have for the young ladies out there that's not on social media? Um, how should they go about and they're not trying to get on the online dating sites. So how should they go about meeting men?
I think before a lot of women need to worry about meeting men, they need to talk to men and
Mm.
ask other men what they want. A lot of these women don't know what men want. If you hear a woman talk about what they want in a man, that's all you hear about. What I'm sure all three of us can tally down a list of what we've overheard women what they want from a man. But how long is the list where a woman talks about what she's going to offer a man? I just said what I was going to offer my life partner. I just went down a list and said what I have to offer the life partner. I have a lot. I know this conversation is short. My list is a lot longer, but I just went off and gave some of the major financial stuff that I know women might be interested in. I mean, I travel monthly, as you guys know, so you would have a travel companion that's paying for everything. I was just at City Winery last night, concerts. I go to 1 to 2 concerts every week. I go to the movies. So you have a companion to do that who's willing to flip the bill for all that stuff. That's what I offer, but you never hear about what a woman is going to offer a woman, a man. Us
So,
men, we have to sell ourselves
let me
for
interrupt. Right,
women.
read some of these comments. Right. So it says right here. This is my own girl Lo, right here. She said a woman could be feminine, be approachable type of person, and full of substance. She said you could get out of the gym, get out of the house, go to the gym market, and being able to. That's how. Because I know that was a big thing. Rome had a couple girls asked him that question as well. I'm not on social media, and so I think that was a really good answer that she said. And she said older men with money go after the young tender, but when you have power, they go after the older woman a lot of times when they want security, which I think is good too. So I'm gonna transition us as soon as we could get the guests on. I don't know if he on Suge or coming, but before that, I'm sorry, Ron, you ain't finished. I'm gonna try to get him on, but I'm gonna let you finish.
No, no,
So
no. So that was the first part. And then I think Lo, she just touched on some things. Me personally, I think more and more women they take that waiting on Boaz out of context, and they don't realize that Ruth was strategically placed to meet Boaz. So, ladies, get you some golf clubs, go to the driving range, go to the golf course, go where men gonna be, go to business conventions, go to tech conventions, go where men will be at. Because let's be honest, not everybody goes to church. So not always go meet your man at a church environment. Go to sporting events. If you want to go to, you may not like basketball, but you claim you want to be with a man. Your man is going to be most likely involved with some type of sport. So you may have to get out of the house and do something that you normally wouldn't do, just like you would in marriage. You're going to have to sacrifice. So do something that you wouldn't normally do a little differently. And it's not always got to be the sports bars or the lounges, but go to a sporting event, go to the conventions, switch it up from what you normally used to. And I'm pretty sure your pool of men will start to grow.
that's really good stuff right there. Really good. I think our guest is here, so I'm gonna wait for him to try to figure out this camera situation. But I'm gonna do a quick introduction, real quick, right? And I'm waiting for his camera to come on, man. This is so much of a delight pleasure, right, to introduce my homeboy, right? But I want to make sure it's okay, cool. There goes his camera. I think it's coming. It's coming, right? This is my man T Mac. Now, this is my older brother Rob. This is his really really good friend. They came down here to Cali long time ago. And as they came to Cali, they were young men trying to figure out life in general, right? So it was three of them, and maybe being more than that, but I know for a fact it was Rob, Terrell, and Sean. And they were like, peas in a pot. And they used to go to the clubs together. I heard all the stories being the younger brother as I came out here. They accepted me all as a brother. And it's my delight pleasure to introduce T Mac because out of all the other friends, they went on and got married and had kids, and T Mac is single. It's probably and so he get the Mac name because that's not only his last name, but it's T Mac. Because T Mac, went through a grinding stage where he was out here dating. So I think he can give a lot of good feedback and advice. And not only that, he got a new book out, right? Now, my man had this show called Sister. Man, I'm gonna let him tell it because I don't want to mess it up, right? But what I can say is he had a segment where he was on the Oprah show, right? And so that was really really big for him. And so it ended up turning into, he had a lot of success, in music, and he worked with a lot of big artists and produced a lot of music and worked with numbers in the bank. I mean, it's a lot of things that he has done. But right now, to date, he wrote this book called Too Cool to Love, right? Look, I encourage everybody to go get you a copy. I'm just starting it, so I can't tell you what it's all the way about, right? But what I can say to you is my man was toe-to-toe with Steve Harvey on this one. And so just to give you a little bit of pointers, I'm just saying my man wrote a book and it's all about relationships. So if can't nobody else talk about dating after 40, I think he can give us a lot of insight as well. T Mac, are you here? Terrell. Guess he ain't here. We having technical difficulties after 42. T Mac.
I'm here. Can you see me, hear me?
We cannot see you, but we can hear you, and it's not as loud either.
I have my video camera. It says off and it says on, so my camera should be on. I'm seasoned, bro, but I can work these pieces, but my camera shows here. I see my mic is moving, my mute is moving.
No, we can hear you. It's just a dark screen, so I'm not sure if your screen is covered up or is it pointed the wrong way. I'm not sure if you on your laptop. I'll give you a chance to figure that out, and then we could, still converse. I know my introduction wasn't the best one. However, I wanted to be able to tell my personal experience of my brother Terrell, and how he gonna be able to give us some insight. So I'm gonna let you try to get your. I'm gonna try to let you try to get your camera.
Hello, bro, Carla. I'm not sure what's going on. My camera suggests that it's on. It's not turned around backwards. I don't know why it's black. I see my audio. My camera X is off.
It says you might want to allow the browser to access your camera. So if you look at the text messages, I think my good brother should trying to direct you through the whole thing. And so in the meantime, Ron.
I'll look at my text now.
Right. In the meantime, Ron, do you have something else for the good people that the women? Because we get a lot of people write into us, right? They write into us, they ask us questions. So this ain't something we just doing just to do because we feel like doing it. But people really want to know about this relationship stuff. That's why we end up wounding back here over and over again. Because so this is what people want to hear, and we trying to get the people what they want. Trying to get the people what they want. So go ahead, Ron. What you say, man?
No, man. Like I said, man. For the spiritual women, the women of God, Jehovah, whatever your spiritual background is, I just think a lot of pastors and leaders don't do a good job of stressing that Ruth literally was strategically placed. And I'm just here to tell you, you're not just going to have somebody just ding dong ring your doorbell and there go your Boaz. You may get an Amazon driver one day and you say, hey, that's the one, or UPS or FedEx. But let's be honest, that's usually not going to be the case. So that's why I say that strategic positioning you got to start doing things that men like to do. And if you don't like cigar lounges, that's cool. You don't have to go to the cigar lounge because, it may make your hair smell and your clothing smell, but at least get out to events and conferences that men go to so that you can position yourself and be there. You can go do, they do like the little charter fishing trips. You could do all the different things that you wouldn't normally do because you claim you want to be married and you got to be in places where men are. And I'm talking real men, what Bishop was talking about, the people who are with the six figures, the people who are 6 feet or close to 6 feet.
Well, you know what? Let me shake the boat then into Terrell. Come on, I love to shake this boat. Because I was just go ahead, Bishop.
A girl somewhere in the grocery store, um, and she's like Instagram model level girl. We know we can't walk up to her and say, "You're beautiful. Can I take you out to McDonald's so we can talk and get to know each other?" We know we're gonna have to take her to Ruth Chris, somewhere nice, whatever. We know it ain't gonna be the Cheesecake Factory, but we know we're gonna have to compete for her because we know it's gonna be. She has 100 other guys, if not more, in her DMs, throwing her the same line. So we know we have to come with it. I find with women, they all want these sixes guys, but they don't want to compete with the guy who's in the top 5, 10, 1% of guys. They think this 6'6" guy who's making $200,000 and just lays it down in bed that every woman wants is just going to fall on his knees when he sees her for some reason. I don't know why they think that guy has not 100, not 1,000 women like the Instagram model, but he has a good line of women that's competing for his attention too. So you're gonna have to compete if you want a top 10 high value man. You're gonna have to compete for that man. For some reason, women goes crazy when they talk about having to compete for a man. They think a man's supposed to be given to them just because they're a woman, and I don't know why they think that. You're gonna have to compete for that man. You're gonna have to ask him over, cook for him, and do something. Just like I have to wine and dine, take women to Dubai and stuff like that. You're gonna have to do something feminine like that. You don't have to even spend money, but there's a lot of feminine things women can do that they used to do in the past, but for some reason they don't do anymore.
So this is how I'm flipping the script, right? What about the women that feel like I hear what you're saying, but, but where's the standards? The men are not being men anymore either. They are not courting. You're not trying to take them on dates, understanding what they feel, respecting their feelings, talking about emotions. Why everything got to be Sexy Red from day one, right? Because I did that for the extreme, right? Sexy Red is the extreme as far as ratchetness, if I can say that, right? And I'm being respectful to Sexy Red. However, I'm just saying she is the face for ratchetness, right? So if the woman is feeling like, well, why doesn't a man have standards anymore? That's why dating is different. Dating is different because men used to, I bet I'll pay your rent. They used to go all over in all the R&B songs back then. Ain't none of that exists no more. That don't exist anymore. The whip appeal. Babyface not talking about no whip appeal no more. That don't exist. And because you got OnlyFans and you got all this other stuff that just comes so easy and it's easy access, right? So since that's changed, and then all the women are really, really revealing too. So they showing a lot of stuff. The men are showing the muscles, and ain't no gassing no more. So I'm saying to shake the boat. What about the woman's perspective about how dating changed from their point of view, and the men are not holding their end of the bargain either? Because, that's one thing my cousin said a few calls back. She said, men think they the prize. And matter of fact, I don't even know if y'all know this. I know Bishop probably know because he read and study a lot of this. But it was also I heard this new term that the men are being catered to, and I forgot the term. It's a new term that's out where the women are taking care of the men, and soft men. It's called soft men era or something. The soft men.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I never heard of that. But I'm just saying, all of this stuff is new, right? Never heard of the soft man era where they want to be taken care of and they the prize. So at the end of the day, I want to see what's your thought about that before T Mac come on. I think he here. I don't know, but go ahead, Bishop. What you say?
I don't think men have not changed. Y'all don't know any men that's not willing to take a woman out and wine and dine her and treat her as long as he's getting respect and feminine energy from that woman. I don't mind taking a feminine woman out. I don't mind flying her out, all that other stuff. The problem comes with this new aspect of women wanting all the sixes in the perfect man. They only want to date the 5 to 10% of men, and they don't even see the other 90 to 80% of men. So that's where they come with this: all men are getting treated good and all this other stuff. Yeah, that comes the top 5 and 10%. That's true, but that's all they see. They don't see all these 80%, 90% of guys who don't get sex or barely get sex or get dates because they don't see them.
With all due fairness, I don't even know a lot of people. I mean, I know a lot of people, right? But I don't know a lot of people that's really making over 100,000. Right, that's rare.
Mhm.
I know some that's in the crew that I know, people I hang out with that I know. But what I'm saying to you is, it's a lot of women that I speak to that's dating UPS drivers and still feel disrespected. They still feel like he not putting forth the effort. Just because I got you, we don't have to date anymore. I don't have to take you out anymore. I'm comfortable with this, and then I don't want you to talk to anybody. I want to be controlling. But I don't want to be able to be controlled with what God is showing me. So I see that happening on a regular basis.
Well, UPS drivers make $100,000 or more. I just talked to my friend. I worked at UPS for 5 years when I was in college. I was talking to one of my friends who worked with me back then.
Not all drivers make 100,000. I'm just trying to tell you.
All UPS drivers make $100,000 a year with their new contract. I guarantee you. All UPS drivers, all full-time UPS drivers make over 100,000, okay. And they can make 150 easily with overtime. Trust me, I know. I used to work for UPS.
No, we got a lot of people in the crew, don't we, wrong, that work for UPS. Shout out to UPS.
They're union, and then they get pensions when they retire. They got better health benefits than probably any of us up here. UPS driver is a good job. So they can be cocky, but most guys, as you say, most guys don't make 100,000, and those are the guys who, unless they might be one of the 6 foot tall guys who's maybe buff and handsome, he might not make 100,000, but he can still get women too.
Let me get this clear. So if you telling me it's a guy that's 5'7", 5'6", and he got a respectable job as a teacher. Right? He don't even make close to 100,000. He's attractive. He's attractive, and he probably ain't even got close to 6 inches. But he know what he doing, right? You ain't gonna tell me this man with his swag, because I done seen Biggie. I done seen a lot of people that's able to get women, and it's based off their charisma. It's based on their style. But anyways, let's switch gears. I think T-Mac back, because I know we don't have a lot of time, right? And I love y'all. I love this crowd. I love this conversation. So we're going to come back here, but we're going to introduce T-Mac. T-Mac, how are you, sir? You still ain't here. I should have went over there and did it with him live. That's what probably should have happened. Is he back, Shug? What should I expect? Should I keep going? Should I read some of the inserts of the book? Because I can. I can try to. I really want him on. This whole thing was supposed to be him being on, Because I think he got a lot of information that we can gather. And then when we do the part 2, we'll have a woman's perspective. And then we have a woman lay it down based on, see, I'm the mediator. I can play both sides. One of my other homegirls called me too, man, and she was like, and she ain't even black, right? And she was like, listen, I want to be on this call too. I got a lot to say as well. And I was like, so what's good? Because it's all about perception. I really think dating has changed tremendously. And I think we not, like, Bishop is talking about the surface stuff. Now, Lim would have gave you a little bit more heat too, right? But we talking about the surface stuff of the 6 inches and 6 feet and all of that, right? Forget all of that. No, forget all of that. Yeah. It's women out here that just want a good man, right? Just don't disrespect me. Don't put your hands on me. I want you to be able to be there when I need you. Matter of fact, it don't matter what you make for real, as long as it ain't less than me, and then we could work together to be able to make this work. You put your money with my money, and we can make this work because 2 is better than 1. And I guarantee you, it's a lot of women out here that feel that way. Now, maybe you brainwashed, Bishop, by being in Atlanta. No, for real, because see, Atlanta is superficial. You run into a lot of women out there that want to be in Tyler Perry movies, and they want the Rolls Royce and all of that because it ain't a lot of them out there. I see a Rolls Royce every corner out here. So this not. I mean, I just think it's the women you running into because I promise you, I know I proven myself. I know a lot of people, right? And all I'm saying to you is, majority of women that I do know that are single, they want a good man. And they don't have those type of criteria. Now, the criteria that they do have is more so of what the stuff you ain't talking about with the spirituality. And my man got to be respectful, and he got to be able to be over his player stage. He want to be committed. I want to commit myself to him. I want to cater to him so he don't want nothing else. I want to be like Big Mama and cook and do all of these things for him as well. But it got to be somewhat much of a compromise if we got kids and we doing this life together. Life is supposed to be together. We're supposed to be experiencing life together. And see, that's how I can shake the bowl, because I talk to a lot of women and that's their perspective, right? So that's my take, just by shaking the bowl and giving them a point of view because they ain't on the call.
Yeah, women. Yeah, I've heard women say that too. I hear them say that, but like I teach my 20 and 20-year-old sons, I'm like, don't.
We can hear you, T-Mac. You just not loud. Go ahead, Bishop.
Like I teach my 20-year-old sons, 20 and 21-year-old sons, I'm like, don't go by what women say, go by what they do. So I hear women say that all the time, but I don't see them do that. I see the turn around that tell me I want a good man who does this, who does that, and then I turn around and they're looking at the 6 foot guy, the 6'6" guy that everybody else in the club are looking at.
Getting him. That could be her fantasy. She ain't getting him. She ain't getting LeBron, but she could like LeBron. So what? She ain't getting or Jason Tatum or whoever else, Jaylen Brown. She could like him, but
I see them overlook the guys who's going to treat them good too. I'm sure all of us see that.
We all have fantasies too. Like, just because that's what I'm saying. If you're married or not, you might look at she bad, or I like the way she look. I like her physique. I like the way she carry herself. But that's in your head, in your mind. But your reality is you getting Sister Johnson over here. And so that's
you tell me why it's all these so good black women who's just looking for a good man that's going to treat them right. You tell me why they all single then. Explain that to me.
Me personally, I think it's the expectations of they running into a situation where dating is different. So if you are anything over 40, this means you remember vividly what dating used to be on the Wonder Years, Family Matters, like the Cosby Show. We have a picture of what real dating is, right? This is how we were molded. 80s babies, right? Or even before that, in the 70s and stuff before that, 60s, if you will, if you want to go back further. But the point I'm trying to make to you is we have a picture of an image. And then nowadays it's different. So now we shifted what dating is. Dating of the classic, most beautiful woman in the world used to be a white woman with blonde hair, blue eyes, thin lips, right? That's what it used to be in the Playboys in the 60s, 70s. Things changed tremendously from then to now. Now you got the Kardashians trying to keep up with us. They trying to get our images, paying for hips and thighs and lip injections and long hair. So all I'm saying to you is, and I'm not trying to be racist. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to paint a picture that dating scene has changed tremendously. And so if you think about going on a date right now, okay, let's talk about this, because it looked like Terrell, I have no idea what's going on with my man. Maybe I got to call him on the phone after this, right? So this is my last point I want to make to you, Bishop. What does your date look like? Tell me about a date with a young lady that you getting ready to take the Maestros or the expensive restaurant. What does it look like? Are you on your phone? Is she on her? Is she engaged? Is she not interested? She is super fine. She the Instagram model. Tell me that. I'm gonna put you on mute while I try to get him on the phone. Go ahead. Let me hear your answer.
Oh, I mean, if I went on a date, it totally depends on the particular woman. It could be a good date. It could be a bad date. I'm sure you heard all of the bad dating experiences. Yeah, women be on the phone. They show up 30 minutes late. You can go down the list of things that I'm sure everybody heard of. But what you was talking about earlier, as far as women see all of this stuff on TV, that's why Jerome can back me up. I don't like to talk about famous people and athletes and stuff when we talk about dating, because all that stuff is why we have all this delusion and fantasies of what dating is. I like to talk about my aunt. I'm actually going to a funeral in Chicago. Unfortunately, this Saturday, my aunt Bessie passed away. I was just in Chicago 2 weeks ago visiting her. But her and my uncle, they've been married. I was looking at the plaque on their wall of when they was getting married, trying to calculate how many years were they married. And I'm like, wow. When January comes, I was telling them, when January comes, y'all are going to be married for 70 years. So she didn't make it to 70 years, but they had 69 years of marriage. I look at my uncle and aunts. I look at my grandparents. I look at my mom and dad. They divorced after 27 years after I graduated college. I look at marriages around me. The problem is people don't have these marriages around them so they can see what marriage is actually like. I was talking to a good friend this past week. He's married, and he was just telling me about how he just don't know about his marriage, because it just seems like all they do is when they come home, he's in one room, she's in one room. How did he explain it? She's in one room, they're in one room. Sometimes, they don't really talk to each other, but they've been married for 20. I think they've been married for almost 25 years. And the way he explained his marriage, I told him, based on everybody, all my aunties, I come from a big family, going to their houses throughout the years, based on me seeing other people's marriages, me being in their house. To me, that's what is marriage at. You have a man, he might be down in the basement watching his football games. His wife might be up talking to her best friend on the telephone. I mean, marriages ain't always TV where it's excitement, where they're flying to the Bahamas or Dominican Republic or whatever. I mean, marriage, sometimes you have low points, sometimes you have high points. But if people had true examples of marriages, I think that would help.
I appreciate it. We got Terrell here, so let's try to switch over to Terrell right now. What's up, T Mac? How you feeling, man?
Gentlemen.
Hey, I'm so glad we able to
I
get
feel
you
better
on.
now.
Beautiful Southern California in the back. I love it. I love your new place. I think you're doing amazing things. So can you introduce yourself to the people, please?
Well, it's a little hard to hear you. Forgive me for the technical difficulties. I've been trying to get on ever since you introduced me with that spectacular whole T-Mac thing, but but T-Mac is dead basically. But I appreciate the history and where things have come from. Yeah, so my name is Terrell Macklin. I'm good friends with Carlos' brother Rob. We like actually brothers at this point, 30 years in the game. But I'll just dive right in. I let's do a lot of. I heard, and maybe that was the reason why I wasn't able to jump in earlier. A lot of the dialogue about 6-footers and how much money you got and how smooth you are to get the game and all those things and how things have changed since the '60s. And I think all that is kind of what I teach today and how I view things. You introduced the book earlier, Too Cool to Love, and that's kind of what it's all about. We've all become too desensitized to relationships. We've all become too cool, hiding behind the mask of cover up and dysfunction and irresponsible ways of having relationships and inappropriate behaviors in relationships. And so, quite frankly, how can I put this? We're in a state of emergency. And if we aren't careful, the culture as we know dating between men and women is on course for collision. And that's why it's hard to be able to connect, especially in today's environment with social media, with all the expectations. People don't know how to really just hear the heart anymore and how to be drawn to the common things that are important in relationships. And so we're a little bit off cue. I'll start with that.
So give us a little history of what makes you qualified. Tell us a little bit more about your history. How you get started. How did you even get into the dialogue of relationships? Tell us a little bit more about how you got started.
Sure. Well, let me first state this book in my life, when I speak about relationship management, is not specific to relationships between eros or man and woman per se. I do believe ultimately once you get these things correct, it will aid and assist that. My history for the last 30 years have been a relationship manager. I've managed relationships from being a hood dude and managing things in the street. So I've managed that. I've managed tons of relationships with women, obviously. But I've also managed things in the executive world at very, very high level, record executive, billionaires, top clients in terms of entertainment industry and business executive, where my job, my role was to manage the relationship, was to manage how the overall relationship worked throughout every component of the business and or the family structure. So relationships is my core strength. I think my gift is being able to have resolve. So in every relationship, whether it's eros, whether it's business, whether it's a billionaire, whether it's on the street, I'm able to find resolve. I'm able to find that through line to get people to see themselves and to be able to use the most important part of discovering balance in relationship, which is finding the part about you and who you are and what makes you tick, what makes you really happy, what really bothers you, what's really going on, what happened to your history, what happened in your past, what kind of trauma have you gone through, what kind of abuse have you gone through, what kind of success have you gone through that has changed your life entirely, where you now are confused. So my entire career has been relationship management. Again, not particularly with men and women, but I got a lot of expertise in that because my core belief is that you will not ever find a relationship with a woman or any person that you're trying to find it with until you deal with a relationship with yourself, until you manage relationships around you at all spectrums, because they all bleed into your life, into your spirit, who you are, how you think, how you operate. So you have to understand how to manage relationships overall. And ultimately, when you find that beautiful dime y'all talking about on this call, whatever a dime is today, is a fine woman and a high value woman, all the things we use today.
He was doing so good, man. My man was doing so good, man. Hey, he was doing so good with the high value. I was getting ready to hey, man, my man was doing so good, man. I don't understand, man. I should have probably been with him. I was with him yesterday. I should have just did this live with my man because, I had all my next questions lined up. I was ready.
Yeah, you got to bring him back on the next go round because
I'm so
technical
sorry.
difficulties.
Hey, to the audience, I'm so sorry, man. Please forgive me. I'm sorry, man. It wasn't my fault. I tried, I had all my questions prepared. I was getting ready to come in, with the good, because my man, he got personal relationships, Steve Harvey, Oprah Winfrey show. I was getting ready to come with the heat with all the stuff, and now we got to do a part 2 of whatever we gonna do because it's getting late in the game. Do y'all have any remarks, man? I feel so bad for my people. Do we have any remarks, Bishop? What you think about what he said so far, man? About managing yourself before you can manage a relationship. What we thinking?
Well, that's why I told you before. You were saying, where can women meet these men that they want? And like I said, they need to work on themselves. I know a lot of times they say they working on themselves, but
I'm sorry, Bishop. Shug just told me to remind the audience that is listening live that IG is getting ready to end, or it has ended. So I want you to come over to YouTube. Meet us on YouTube because we here until this thing is over. And I think it's going to be over. We ain't going to be able to finish with the T-Mac. I see him here, but we probably going to have to start in from the beginning on another one, because this time is getting away from us. Go ahead, Bishop. You were saying something. Sorry.
Yeah, I think men and women need to work on themselves before they get out here. They need to talk to people of the opposite sex. If you want to be married, talk to married women and ask them what it's truly like to be married. Don't try and live this fantasy, because more than likely that fantasy is not going to come to fruition. So that's just my best advice. Talk to men that you're not dating. Talk to a brother, an uncle, a father, a friend that you knows not trying to date you. I don't know how many men those are, but actually get out and do some research, and just don't listen to other single women. I think that's definitely be your detriment. Listen to what other single women will tell you.
Well, Big Mama say, this is my Big Mama session. So Big Mama say misery loves company, right? I'm just telling you what Big Mama say. So if you talk to married women that ain't happy, right? Or if you talk to single women that just don't want you to be married because y'all used to have all the fun in the world, Big Mama say misery loves company. What's your take on Big Mama, Ron? Big Mama say. This is our segment, Big Mama say segment, before we end.
No. Big Mama gave us a lot of wisdom. One thing, like we said in the past, that Big Mama showed us is that she knew how to take care of the home. She made sure Pawpaw, Big Papa, whatever you called him, his food was made. In most households, he got his plate first before anybody else. So let's talk about that.
Let's not talk about
that. So you know what I'm saying? So the catering was there. She made sure, but let's also look at what Big Papa did. He brought the money to the household and she ran the household. So it was a partnership there. So they had the yin and the yang. And a lot of us don't have the Big Mamas and the Big Papas around when you get into your 40s and your 50s, but you have to keep that wisdom that they instilled in you when you was in your teenage and your 20s or whatever the case may be, because it was a lot of wisdom there. And what I would say,
they out here trying to have a hot girl summer. What you saying about that? They out here trying to be the city girl.
No, to the young, that's the young folks, man.
No.
Hold up.
You got people your age. Trying to people your age.
No, hold on. Everybody got their season. You know what I'm saying? But some people's season lasts way longer than it's supposed to. Let's look at that. and so, you know what I'm saying? My thing is, if you say you ready for a husband, make sure you're approachable. Because I done met a lot of women who have their stuff together, but you're not approachable. And that's attitude is everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I done held the door open for women, and they didn't look at me like, I don't want you. I'm just opening the door because I see you and you a lady. I'm not trying to get your number. I'm not trying to take you out. and it make me just feel bad for the single brothers out there, because if you operating like that with me and I'm just common courtesy, what are you doing to the young men that's out and about that's trying to court you and trying to do the different things? Like you turning them off. So some people call it vibe, some people call it energy. If you come in with negative energy, you wonder why you single. It could be your attitude. Sometimes you gotta, like we talk about bettering yourself, sometimes you gotta go and look in the mirror and realize you got a poor attitude. And if you just change the attitude, the men you would attract would be so much better than the nonsense that you getting coming your way. So that's my take.
Perfect.
I like she said, preach. I like that, Lo. That's what I'm talking about. Say it for the people in the back. They ain't hear you. You got a young lady saying that, man. Come on now.
So Bishop, do you have any closing remarks before we end for the people, man?
Oh, I don't have anything. Just dating over 40, dating over 30, dating over 20 these days is hard.
I think we can all agree that dating over 40, from what we hear from the people, is very, very hard. I don't think it is what it used to be. And you hear me a lot of times, I'll close by saying this. You hear me say a lot of times about the Big Mama, right? But I think that was a very important part of the Black community growing up, right? And in all due fairness and all due respect, we missed that. You know, you miss the wisdom that we used to get along the way. And so somewhere along the line, we missed out. So it's not about what Bishop's saying with the 6 feet and all of that. That's materialistic stuff, and that's this stuff that's tangible, that's gonna fade. But what about what's gonna sustain after the looks are gone, after you get in a car accident, after you gotta go to chemo? It's all about how can you sustain a relationship. And so it's outside of the surface base of what you got in the bank and what you could do in the bed. What happens when we can't do it no more? How can we still abstain relationships? So you hear me being funny all the time, talking about Big Mama, but I'm really trying to be serious just to let you know how she was a pivotal part in what we do. And now the grandmothers nowadays don't even like you call them grandma. And so at the end of the day, you should be proud to be able to carry on a legacy that they could be able to relate to you based on perseverance, endurance, motivation, and you can show them that there is hope for tomorrow. So if y'all don't hear nothing else I say, I want y'all to be able to understand things that we're saying, to gain different perspectives on dating. If you're single out there and you really, really want to date and you want your person, my suggestion, this is coming from Los, this is my opinion. My suggestion is that you think it, you believe it, you write it down, you work on yourself. Everything you want in that man, you be in a woman. You know, as far as not the dominance part, but we talking about being feminine, but still everything that you want as far as catering, him being respectful, him being spiritual. I need you to double down on that as well, because you got to be able to be what you want in a man on the opposite spectrum. That's my opinion. I really appreciate y'all. I'm so sorry that Terrell wasn't able to finish the interview, but I guarantee you one thing, if my name ain't Lois, we're going to pick this back up. I might have to pull up to his crib and I might have to show him how to do this thing live so we can finish this show. But until next week, I really love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Make sure that y'all subscribe. Hit the like button on YouTube and subscribe button. And we'll see y'all next week. Love y'all.